Welcome to Moon Day. Here is your astrological update for today. It is an intense day, folks. Okay, we've got a lot of Martian energy in the sky. This is a kickoff for the next 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of April are what we would term hairy, to say the least. And today kind of kicks it off. We're at the halfway point of the month, and from this point on, we've turned the corner of a very quiet river, and we're in the Whitewater Rapids. It's beginning to get a little intense. Square energies are very strong today. The moon squaring Pluto, the sun squaring Pluto. There's a few squares going on. There's others. Squares are of the nature of Mars. The sun is in Mars. Well, the sun is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and the moon is in Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, and all these squares are to Pluto, which is very Martian, and of the nature of Mars. So what does that mean to you specifically? Well, great question, and it will depend on what you've been attracting. But one thing you can be assured of today is there's going to be some adjusting energy. There's going to be some movement energy, okay? Squares, though they may be challenging, they create change. They move things. They pick us up and put us in a new place, a place in which we can, try something new. And life is about change. It's the only constant, and it's the squares that give us that change. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Oftentimes we sort of have a negative connotation in our society around change, and there's no need for that, because it's every bit as possible that the change is good as it is bad. And in fact, what might lend it to being a good change is the Sabian symbol for today. So the Sabian symbols have been around now for 100 years or more, and they're an interesting take on astrology, a very esoteric take, okay, created by a lady named Elsie Wheeler. She saw an image for each degree of the zodiac, and they've held true. And the sun today, as of right now, just went to 25 degrees of Aries, okay? And the Sabian symbol for 25 degrees of Aries is a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. A man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. So maybe life is asking you to level up, is causing some shifts and changes in your life that will lead you into a better place. Okay, maybe on the other side of the next 2 weeks of rapids is the most beautiful part of the river, the most magical part of the river. Maybe that's where the unicorns are. I mean, we don't know. Mermaids potentially. I don't know. Let's be open to the magic of what's coming. Know that the nature of the day is a lot of Martian energy, and Mars is the nature of war. He's intense, he's aggressive, he wants to get shit done. He punches first and apologizes later. We'll talk about it later. It's all about action, 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 action. And if you're not channeling it properly, it certainly can become a situation in which you're going to have some regret around it, okay? So get outside if it's nice where you're at, and get in active. If that's not possible, get to the gym and lift some weights. Just move this energy in a positive way, because it's got to be moved. It has to be moved. The river of water is moving. It's just a matter of where it's going and how you're channeling it. So channel it wisely, folks. And know that maybe you are the person that's possessed of more gifts than you can hold. What gifts would they be? What would you like them to be? We are moving into a very exciting phase of reality in this matrix we call life, and my suspicion is it's a good place we're going. But getting there is not going to be without a tad bit of turbulence. So remember that life is 90% how we react to the 10% that's happening. Okay? So things happen in our lives to create change. And in our reaction to the situation, we define ourselves as who we are in relation to said situation. Now, this is the moment in time when we know that we have graduated, that we had leveled up. How do we know we've leveled up? Unless we react differently to a situation. So, the gift that today offers you is, for the next 24 hours, when the change happens, when the square energy happens, when the Martian energy shows itself, how will you react? As you did in the past? Or maybe as the new version of who you choose to be in relation to this? All right, folks. There's your words for wisdom for the day. Yours truly, Big Daddy Hugs of Hugs Astrology. Please give me a like and a follow. Much appreciated. Wherever you are and wherever this message finds you, a great big hug goes out to you. See you soon.